question is this. Have you ever missed an ex but realized later you were just lonely?
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, you get around that person and you really sitting there like, do I really want to do this? Or is this just something like, if we really dig deep within? Because a lot of the times when we go back, it's because we haven't reflected on ourselves.
It's that time.
It's time. It's time.
It's time.
It's time.
It's time to tap in.
Tap in.
To tap in. To tap in.
Tap in.
To the healthy.
Howdy, everybody out in the world. Welcome back. It's been a long time, but we back. It's a healthy debate. I'm your host, Rockhaven Films. Shout out to everybody in my streaming platforms out there: Apple Music, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Listen Notes. Oh my God, there's so many of y'all. We appreciate you. Man, it's been a long journey, y'all, and we are back with the healthy debate. I do have a co-host, ladies and gentlemen. They should be popping in here any minute, and when they are ready. But we're gonna get our show started, and we're also, for the first time, we are streaming live on TikTok. So TikTok has the opportunity to be a part of this entire process. So shout out to everybody on TikTok that's rocking with us. And what we're going to do today is our topic, right, is going to be, is healing linear or are we romancing the past when we are lonely? Now, typically on the healthy debate, I have my co-hosts up here going back and forth with me. You know, this is how we work. However, that person's not here with me right now. So it's okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tap in with my chat box here with everybody that's in there. And I'm going to start asking some self-reflection questions. So we're going to do this with my actual audience. And so here we go. So when we say, or we romance in the past when we are lonely, are we missing them versus missing the feeling? And what are we really grieving? So my first self-reflection question is this. Have you ever missed an ex but realized later you were just lonely? Have you ever missed an ex but realized later you were just lonely? Now, for me, this happens for a lot of people. Sometimes what feels like missing an ex is actually missing the feeling of having someone, not necessarily missing that specific person. So like, here's why that can happen, right? You miss the routine, okay? Relationships create habits, texting good morning, talking at night, sharing things about your day. When that suddenly disappears, the silence feels loud, right? And the brain associates that with emptiness with the person. You know what I'm saying? So that's just one. What's another one? Loneliness can rewrite memories. Okay. So when people feel lonely, they might often filter out the bad memories and highlight the good ones, right? You start remembering the laughs, the inside jokes, the comfort, but forget the reasons the relationship ended. You understand? So yeah, loneliness can rewrite memories. All right. Humans crave connection, right? We crave connection. So like people are wired for connection, right? When that bond disappears, the brain can interpret the lack of connection as missing that person, when really it's just craving companionship. Okay. The familiarity, right, feels safe. This is essentially what, when it's familiar, it's safe. Even if the relationship wasn't perfect, it was known and familiar, right? So starting over or being alone can feel uncertain. So the mind sometimes tries to pull you back toward what it already knows. Time, right? Time brings clarity. So after some time passes and the loneliness fades, people often realize something important. I didn't actually miss them. I miss not being alone. And that realization is pretty common, right? It's pretty common, y'all. So if you've already ever experienced that, right? If you've ever experienced that, just know like there's a difference between missing them and then just missing the feeling, right? What do y'all think? I've been seeing a lot of people in the comments saying yes. What else we got in here? Yes, we do. Okay. I see y'all down there. Okay, let's go. All right. So let me see. Self-reflection question number 2. Okay. Do we actually miss the person or the routine and comfort they brought? It's a good question, right? Do we actually miss the person or the routine and comfort they brought? All right, what was Shema said? The routine and comfort? Okay. All right. I see you. All right. So often it's a mix of both, right? But many times people miss the routine and emotional comfort more than the actual person. Relationships create a structure in your life, someone to text, someone to tell things to, someone who's part of your daily rhythm. When that disappears, the brain notices the gap in the routine first, right? So here's how the two are different. Missing a person, this usually means like you value who they are as a person, not just what they did for you, right? You remember both their good and bad traits and still feel a connection, okay? The feeling remains even when you're not lonely or when life is going well. Now, missing the routine and comfort, this tends to feel like missing having someone there more than missing them specifically, right? Thinking about them mainly during quiet and lonely moments, the feeling fades once you build new routines, friendships, or connections. So your brain is very attached to familiar patterns. When that pattern breaks, it tries to restore them, sometimes by focusing on the person who used to be a part of them. So when people think they miss an ex, they sometimes discover later that what they really miss was a sense of companionship, stability, and shared routine, not necessarily the relationship itself. Is that fair? Does that make sense to y'all? Yeah. She said she actually went through that, right? That makes sense, right? So, what y'all think? Lola says, yeah. Snacks say, yeah. What's up? What Red Bone say, yes. Okay. All right, guys. Everybody that's out there listening, y'all know y'all can't see all these people, but you might be able to see them on the YouTube or whatnot. So, all right. So let's see here. Not you already giving me the puzzle piece. All right, here we go. So, question self-reflection question number 3. Is loneliness the biggest reason people go back to relationships they know aren't healthy? Is that the biggest reason why people go back? Shema said, I think so. Redbone said yes. Loka said no. Money is? Okay. Comfort, money is. Trauma bonding. Interesting. All right. So here's my take on it. So loneliness is one of the biggest reasons, but it's usually part of a few powerful forces that pull people back into unhealthy relationships, right? So if we're going to talk about the loneliness, being alone can feel heavy, especially after sharing your life with somebody. The brain often says, at least with them, I wasn't alone, right? So people sometimes choose familiar pain over empty space, right? So that's one of them, okay? Um, Familiarity feels safe, right? So even if the relationship was unhealthy, it's known territory. Starting over with someone new or being alone can feel uncertain and scary. So humans naturally lean towards what they already understand, even if it wasn't good for them. Emotional attachment. Feelings don't always disappear just because a relationship ended. People can still feel love, nostalgia, or a deep bond that makes it hard to fully let go. So there's that part too, right? The nostalgia of it. It's familiar. I love it, right? My next one is you hope that things will change, right? This is what we most of the time when people spin the block, we hope that things will change. So a lot of people go back because they believe maybe this time it will be different. They said they've changed. We just needed time apart. Hope can be powerful even when the pattern hasn't really changed, right? And then, of course, the fear of starting over. I think that's a big part of it, right? A hard truth many people eventually realize is being lonely in a relationship can feel worse than being lonely alone, right? So when someone learns to build peace and stability on their own, they're usually less likely to return to relationships they already knew were unhealthy. Is that fair? That's fair, right? That's fair. Okay. All right. All right. Cool. Cool. All right. So, self reflection question number 4. When you think about your ex, are you remembering the good times more than the bad? And why do you think that happens? Potential. That's a good one. The bad. Yeah. So, yes, many people remember the good times more than the bad when they think about an ex, right? That happens because of a few normal psychological tendencies in how the mind processes memories. The first one is emotional memory bias, right? Positive moments, laughing together, feeling love, special experiences tend to stick strongly in memory. Those feelings can resurface quickly, especially if the relationship once meant a lot. Okay. The brain softens pain over time, right? So as time passes, the brain often dulls painful memories so they don't feel as intense. The difficult arguments or stressful moments can fade faster than the warm memories. Okay. So the brain softens that pain over time. Nostalgia, right? Nostalgia makes the past feel warmer than it actually was, right? So when you look back, your mind often highlights the moments that made you happy or felt meaningful. Exactly. Um, Lonely moments trigger positive recall. So when someone feels lonely or reflective, the brain tends to recall comforting memories. Thinking about the good parts of a past relationship can temporarily fill in an emotional gap. And then let me see. Meaning and identity. Relationships become part of a person's life story, right? Remembering the good moments helps people make sense of that chapter and the feelings they once had. Because of these factors, memories of an ex can feel more positive in hindsight, even if the relationship had serious problems at the time. So over time, people often regain a more balanced view that includes both the good experiences and the reasons the relationship ended, right? So that's how. So those are like the what was it, five? Those are like the five pieces I feel that kind of relate to remembering the good and going back, doing all that stuff, and why do you think it happened? So that's kind of my take on it. Essentially, this is what I think. Agreed? Yeah. Okay. I see. Lovely said agreed. Okay. Okay. All right. So my fifth self-reflection question is: do you think time heals heartbreak, or does it just make us forget the pain? This is a good one. This is a good one. I got my answers, but I want to hear what people have to say. I think this is a real good one. All right, three say I forget. Once again, shout out to everybody that's out on TikTok, uh, rocking out with us. We asked the question: do you think time heals heartbreak, or does it just make us forget the pain? That's a really good one, y'all. I can't prepare for y'all today. All right, I can't prepare for y'all today. Okay, some people say it depends on how the heartbreak was. Makes us forget the pain. Okay, all right. Some good ones in there. Some good ones. Okay, okay. All right. All right, all right. So, in my opinion, time usually does both, right? It helps heal the heartbreak and softens the pain so it doesn't feel as sharp, right? How time heals? When a breakup happens, the emotions are intense because your mind and body were used to that person being a part of your life. Well, over time, a few things naturally happen. You have that emotional distance grows, right? The constant reminders fade. New experiences replace old ones. So your life starts filling with different routines, people, and moments. And then your perspective develops. You begin to understand the relationship more clearly, both the good and the bad, right? That process helps the heart recover. How time makes us forget the pain? I think the brain also protects us by reducing the emotional intensity of painful memories, right? You may still remember what happened, but it usually doesn't hurt the same way it once did, right? Like think of it like a scar, right? You remember the injury, but the pain isn't as strong as when it first happened. That's the way I look at it, all right? But the pain, it doesn't hurt as much. You won't forget it, Not gonna feel the same when it happened, right? And then like the real change, like what time really does is create space between you and the emotion. So in that space, people often grow, learn, and sometimes even become grateful what the experience taught them, right? So heartbreak doesn't disappear completely. It just loses its power over you as time passes on. And that's kind of like where I see that at, right? Like that's kind of the idea of it all. It's just it loses its power, right? It loses its power and time moves on and you have the ability to, I don't know, like keep it moving essentially. So there's that. Let's see. We got some more. So I'm gonna get into the debate questions. Don't know where we're standing right now, but you know what? We keep it going. Pain should be changed into something positive. All right, let me go back in here. Let's take a little moment to see what some of you guys are saying here. People are agreeing. I think it heals, but you'll always remember the pain. Time might numb the pain. Okay, and people say absolutely. Let's see here. Pain should be changed into something positive. I like that, Mafia. It's not my pain. Okay. All right. I like that. All right. So I'm going to get into my debate question. And unfortunately, you guys are going to debate me until she pops in. So this is what we're going to do. My first debate question is this: is going back to an ex a sign of unfinished love or emotional weakness? Ooh, let's go. Come on and be honest. I don't want nobody out there faking the funk. Okay. I want real answers. No faking the funk. I want real answers. All right, hold on one second. Let's see here. Why y'all think about that question? Let me know what y'all think.
And I'm like, your breath still stink. Why am I here?
Yeah,
I'm
that's
just saying, like, you get around that person and you really sitting there like, do I really want to do this? Or is this just something like, if we really dig deep within? Because a lot of the times when we go back, it's because we haven't reflected on ourselves. We haven't dug deep to see, okay, why am I wanting to go back to this? Why am I still wanting this same thing that didn't work the first time? Like, yeah, they say if it doesn't work the first with that model, if I fall off that bike, I'm not getting on. I'm gonna go try them skates out though. I'm gonna try something different.
Okay. So do you? So let's go to the next one. Do you think can loneliness trick us into believing someone was the one?
It absolutely can, because you're lonely. You're in a state of I need some companionship. Oh man, I really messed that up. He was the one. She was the one. I know it was, because I can't find nothing like it. Why do you want to find something like it?
So pretty much what happens is loneliness changes how we remember and interpret the past relationships. I think loneliness amplifies your emotional needs, right? So when people feel lonely, the brain starts searching for connection and comfort. So an ex is often the closest emotional memory available. So the mind can attach deeper meaning to that person than it did before.
Absolutely, it can. But when you're attaching yourself to someone, what are you attaching to? Is it an emotional attachment? Is it a physical attachment? Is it because you have grown and you're both in a more mature state where you're on the same page in the same book? Or are you still skipping rocks and one is on the yellow brick road while the other one is behind the curtain?
I think the physical need is there, but I think it's more of the emotional need. That loneliness makes that emotional need more. Like they just, and it's not something they need consistently. They just need it for that moment, right? Because when it's all over, what happens? Y'all be like, I remember why I even dealt with you in the first place. But you needed that.
It's in those moments where you be like, like, I know the ladies will agree with me if y'all done said this before. Give me my P word back. Like, why I just give you that? Give it back. Give it back right now.
Yo, that's hilarious.
Like,
that's hilarious.
Like,
no take backs.
Okay, I've heard the women say before, I spin the block or I go back to my ex because I don't want to add another notch or I don't want to add an extra body. You know how dumb that is? Women have bodies at all big grown ages. Like, for real?
I mean, Yeah, it happens. See, here's the thing though. It's selective memory, right? So that loneliness often causes selective recall. So you remember the laughs and the affection and the feeling of being wanted, right? But the
You
but
don't remember when that late night he got drunk, y'all got in an argument.
right. So
the
but the conflicts, the incompatibilities, or the reasons the relationship ended can fade in the background, right? So you don't remember none of that. You just remember, he's so funny, right?
Oh, big head. I remember when he used to do that little thing with. Girl, go sit down. Matter of fact, go take a nap. You sleepy. That's all it is. You sleepy.
Right. I think the familiarity feels like destiny. So like because that person was once important, the brain can reinterpret it that the relationship as something special or meant to be. Right. So in reality, it may just be the comfort of something familiar during a lonely moment. Because like I was telling you, right? Like I was telling you, like after that moment has been seized, then y'all be like, I'll call you. How about you don't?
How about let's give me my pussy back?
Oh my goodness.
How about that?
Hey, y'all heard it. Y'all heard it out there first. Okay. Yeah. So Lolo said true. Lolo said true. I think the mind tries to fill emotional gaps too, right? So humans naturally want emotional closeness. So when that need isn't met, the mind sometimes the gap by romanticizing the past.
Yeah, we want companionship. We want to feel wanted, to feel seen, to feel needed. We want all those good feels. But when you were in that relationship, if you weren't getting that, why are you going back to what you already lacked?
Because you don't want to start over because you're not going to have that from the jump.
And guess what goes back to its own vomit? A stupid dog. I'm just saying, like, I'm sorry. What have you gone back to an ex? How many times you just spent the block?
Once, and it doesn't count because it was a high school girlfriend.
Let's talk about it. Why did you spin a block? How did they go?
Because of familiarity.
See, and it got your ass right
back. But I was younger. I wasn't as mature as I was. You know what I'm saying? I spent a lot of time with that person. So when I was younger, yes, the familiarity stepped up. It was like I know this person. I ain't got to start over. Like, we'll see what happens. And then, when you're a kid, y'all break up like every other week. And y'all back together.
I'm gonna call that relationship laziness.
Well, first of all, when I'm in high school, I don't need to be focusing on.
Man, anything before your behind turn 25 don't count. I'm sorry.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So, like, you know what I mean? Like in high school, it don't really, it don't really count. But this is that. But I did experience it though, because that's what you do. Y'all argue for a little bit. The person sees you hanging or talking to somebody. Now they get jealous. Now they want you back. Now you're back together, and you're going to the prom. All that stupid stuff. But yeah. So I don't know. I think perspective changes once loneliness passes. So like many people notice that once they rebuild their life, new routines, friends, and interests, the feeling that X was the one often weakens and disappears. So that's when they realize they were missing connection and not necessarily that specific person. So loneliness doesn't mean the feelings were fake. The feelings were probably real. It just means the mind can reshape memories and emotions when it's craving companionships. That's what I think. That's what I think. So
I can agree. Because how many times have you heard somebody say, I want forever with somebody? You never really
right.
Forever is the memories that you hold on to and that you reflect on. That's your forever.
Right.
You get as much time as allowed with that person. But at the end of the day, again, I am one that I'm just like, I'm not about to spend the block with somebody that I had to turn into an ex.
I get it.
Or indifferent. If it did not work, it did not work. We not getting back in the sheets. We not bumping uglies. We not doing the horizontal tango or whatever you want to call it. We're not doing any of that. What's up, bro? You hungry? You want a sandwich? That's about as much as I got for you. But as far as us trying to go down that memory lane like Minnie Rippleton, not happening. Sorry.
You got the next question? You know what the next question is?
Yeah, so
hold on, let me
you block your ex to truly heal, or is that avoiding emotional growth?
Okay, chat. What y'all think? Chat? Before I tap in, what y'all think?
I honestly, for me, I'm gonna seem a little petty on this. Unless necessary, I'm not blocking you. I want you to watch me glow up. So the question again to everybody: should you block your ex to truly heal, or is that avoiding emotional growth?
It's a good question.
It's a damn good question, but again, I'm not blocking nobody. I'm sorry. What I'm blocking you for? You want to watch me grow? Because you ain't gonna see much. Because first of all, my personal life is not on display. But as far as like phone calls and all of that, I will block. Like, especially once I've established a new relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, you have absolutely no access. I'm blocking IP addresses. I'm blocking your mama, your cousin, your auntie, your sister, your brother. I'm not about to sit here and allow you to think that you get any more access to me than the time that I gave you that you played with. This ain't how to grow, but I'll teach you how to play Monopoly real quick. You keep playing with my time.
So what I was gonna say, I mean, I guess it could be a part of healing for some people, but it isn't automatically the only sign of emotional growth, right? So I feel like what matters the most is the reason behind it.
Well, it's saying, is it avoiding emotional growth? Like, by blocking them, are you avoiding emotional growth? Because, like, a lot of people will say, if you feel like you got to block somebody, then you're not growing emotionally. But I think, in all honesty, being able to sit there and press the block button and say, I'm done, like, that's the finite, like, I'm done. I'm blocking you, deleting the old pictures, messages, and all of that. You're saying goodbye.
I feel like there's two different sides to it, though. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think there's two different sides to it. So, like, I think blocking can be healthy if seeing their posts or messages reopens emotional wounds. Like if there's a cycle of on again, off again contact that keeps pulling you back, or the relationship involved toxic behavior, manipulation, or constant conflict. In those situations, blocking will create clear boundaries, right? And give your mind space to reset. However, there is also times when blocking isn't necessary, right? So some people can move without blocking if like the breakup was mutual and respectful. There's no urge to constantly check their life or contact them, and then both people can maintain distance without emotional turmoil. So I mean, you can take it or leave it, right?
That's why I say I'm not blocking you unless I necessarily have to. Like, I've had situations where I've had to block because what you're not going to do is continue to text, call, or leave messages on my phone. Think I'm going to simply press block, report, and spam, and delete. Like, no, absolutely not. We're not doing that. However, if we did things because we just grew apart and it was a mutual understanding that, hey, you go your way, I go my way, that doesn't mean we can't, be cordial with each other. Hey, how you doing? Maybe do quarterly check-ins. I've had a friend like that where we did quarterly check-ins and hey, how you doing in life? Are you good? Where are you doing with your financial stability? And you making sure your family good and all of this. That's a part of emotional growth because you can sit there and have that conversation. But if you know that person is going to be toxic or you're going to be bitter and triggered and all of that, why are you keeping that in your life? That's like you drinking a poison and expecting somebody else to get sick from it.
Yeah.
It makes no sense.
Yeah. So I think emotional growth may look more like acceptance and detachment rather than cutting off access. Because, like, the core idea, right? Emotional growth isn't about whether you block or don't block. It's about whether you can set boundaries, stop reopening the same emotional wounds, and move forward without being stuck in the past. So, for some people, blocking is the boundary that makes that possible. So, for others, growth shows up as being able to let go internally, even if the person still exists somewhere in their digital world, right? So, that's what I'm saying. Like, growth is like I can move forward or I can let go of this internally and not really worry about what the person is. But more or less nowadays, people block because they don't want the other person being involved in their business. It's not even about them, it's about the other person.
True.
See what I'm saying? So, like, that's when it's boundaries for anything. And that blocking has nothing to do with it because you can literally set the boundaries without blocking anybody. But if they step over those boundaries, you're gonna block them.
I absolutely, because once you cross the line of respect, because if you crossing my boundary, you're disrespecting me because I've said it, I've made it clear, and I'm standing firm on it. And if you feel like you froggy enough to leap across there, I'm froggy enough to block you and knock your ass back into your place. Because what we're not going to do is play with the respect of me.
That's fair.
Just like I'm not going to play with the respect of you. That comes with understanding the person that's in front of you. Now, while y'all were in that relationship, y'all may have allowed that to happen where you're crossing boundaries with each other and not saying anything, because let's be honest, in a lot of relationships, a lot of things go unsaid because people are scared to have those what we call hard conversations.
Right.
But then when you're out of the relationship, you feel like, well, I say what I want to say now because there's no fear of us breaking up because it already happened. Have those conversations in the beginning, and then you won't even have to worry about blocking somebody later.
There you go. Yo, so this next one though, oh man, this next one is, I wrote some notes for this one. Okay.
Oh, really? We taking notes now?
I know. I wrote some, when I read it, I was like, I need some notes for this one. So, is it possible to genuinely miss someone who wasn't good for you?
Can I play devil's advocate with this one?
Oh, not the devil's advocate. You can't be like me.
Were they always not good for you, or was it just once that mask fell off that they weren't good for you, but you missed those times where they were good? Is it possible to have that duality where you miss the good but not the bad?
Interesting. That's interesting.
Is it possible to miss those fun times where you laughed more than you cried?
Someone said, ask again, please. Okay. Is it possible to genuinely miss someone who wasn't good for you?
I think you can. You can miss someone that wasn't good for you, but it doesn't mean that you're missing the bad of it. You're reminiscing and thinking about all the good times, like, dang, why couldn't they have just kept this thing going? Why couldn't they have just did this thing more?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean,
like, I miss that part of them, but I don't miss the toxic or the bad side. I don't miss them mistreating me or mishandling me or not loving me enough or not loving me right or not communicating with me enough. But I do miss the good times that we shared, the laughs, the laying up watching movies or having the conversations or sharing the TikToks or whatever. You know, you can miss all of those good things and still not miss the bad of that person.
Yeah, I agree. I think you can completely, I think it's completely possible to genuinely miss someone who wasn't good for you, right? Because missing that person doesn't always mean the relationship was healthy or that you should go back. It just usually means there was a real emotional bond at some point, right? So, this is what I was playing with. So the emotional attachment, when you spent time, energy, and vulnerability with someone, your mind and body build a strong attachment. Okay. So even if the relationship had problems, that connection doesn't disappear instantly. Good moments still existed. So even unhealthy relationships often have good memories, laughing together, like you said, feeling close, sharing experiences. Missing these moments can make it feel like you missed the person as a whole. I believe that too. The habit and routine of things, right? So when someone was part of your daily life, their absence leaves a gap. Your mind remembers what used to be there, and that absence can feel like missing them. Mm-hmm. Okay. And then like the love and compatibility aren't the same. So you can love someone deeply and still recognize that they weren't right for your life. So love doesn't always equal health, stability, and long-term compatibility, right? There's growth, like growth brings clarity. So over time, people can hold two truths at once. I miss them sometimes, but I also know the relationship wasn't good for me.
Absolutely.
That's right.
Like the comments over here, you can miss the experiences, not so much the person.
Facts.
So it's absolutely true. Mm-hmm. And I mean, that ties into this next question. Y'all ready for the next one? I know y'all waiting, right?
Here we go. Here we go.
Do people romanticize the past because it's easier than facing the unknown future?
I'm going to just say yes. And I'm going to let everybody else go ahead. I'm just going to say yes.
You absolutely are correct with me because I agree. I don't know. That feels weird to be agreeing with you.
Yeah, I don't even like this. It don't feel right.
It don't.
It don't feel right. But I would say, huh?
I don't know how I feel about that.
Right. Well, look, I'm gonna say like the past is something the mind already understands, right? So even if it wasn't perfect, it's predictable and it's familiar, right? The future, on the other hand, is unknown, and uncertainty can make people uneasy. So when that happens, the brain sometimes reshapes past memories in a more positive light, right? So, like, like think about it. There's a few things that contribute to this. All right. So again, earlier we were talking about familiarity feels safer. So humans are naturally drawn to what they know. Even difficult situations can feel more comfortable than stepping into something completely new. Right. We have selective memory. So like over time, people tend to remember the highlights, the laughs, the connections, the good moments, while the stressful or painful parts become less vivid.
You
Right.
know what? I think it's I agree with the selective memory, but I also think that oftentimes we just don't want to see that we fucked up too.
Mm-hmm.
Because it was our choice to go on with that person, right? It was our choice to continue to allow the behaviors that we knew weren't good. But we sit back and we be like, I'm gonna turn that red flag green. Watch, I'm gonna put a little dye here, a little yellow there, a little brown. We gonna turn this green because that's who I want. That is got to be the one. Going back to that question, maybe we, thought it was the one. But at the same time, why are we focused on the future instead of the right now anyway? Like, okay, right now, what is happening? I'm talking to X, Y, and Z person, and this person does this. And then we sit there in our moments of quiet where we supposed to let everything go, and we sitting here thinking about John Doe and Jane Doe, wondering, man, I wonder if they were in this position right now with me, would they do the same thing that this other person is doing? I wonder if it's the what ifs. And what's that old age saying? If ifs was a fifth, we all be drunk.
Mm-hmm.
Why are we going back to the past? Like, yes, while revisiting the past can be fun, it can also be harmful to your future relationships. And that's why a lot of times we're scared of what the future holds in our relationships because we're too focused on the past.
Mm-hmm. Nostalgia, right? That can soften how the past feels. It adds a warm emotional filter that makes previous experience seem more meaningful or magical than they may have felt in real time. So,
Yes, and we don't focus on being in the now.
right.
Like right now, what am I feeling with this person? What am I experiencing? How am I growing from this experience right now? What's happening to me right now?
I don't know. I think people like to avoid uncertainty, right? So like they think about a familiar past relationship, like thinking about it can sometimes feel easier than thinking about things like, will I meet someone else, or what if the next relationship doesn't work out? Like focus on the past gives the mind something solid to hold on to.
That's because routine is easy. Think about
Yeah.
it. You know, in the morning when you get up, you're going to brush your teeth, wash your face, take a shower.
Right.
You're going to put your clothes on. It's
Right.
routine. It's almost like you're living on autopilot. But as soon as one thing changes, let's say you get up and in the middle of brushing your teeth, right before you wash your face, you get a phone call and you got to rush out the house. Now you ain't took your shower, but you feeling like, damn, what the hell? See, if this hadn't happened, da da da, if such and such wouldn't have called, I would have been in the shower right now. You know, like it's focusing so much time on that routine of things that once a change happens, we're uncomfortable. It's not the same. Why did this have to happen?
Right.
Well, life happens.
Yeah, I mean, so I don't know. I think romanticizing the past isn't necessarily denial. It's often just the brain trying to find comfort when the future feels unclear. So over time, as people gain new experiences and confidence in the present, that pulls towards the past usually becomes less powerful. I don't know. I think, time. People need time.
Yeah.
That's it.
Time is absolutely something that people need, but then you have to go into the rabbit hole or the Pandora's box of how much time is needed. Is time really even real when it comes to that? Is it just conceptualized? It's so many different questions that it's just like,
And it's
She's
different.
talking about, I need time to heal. I need time to do this. I need time to do that. At what point are you allowing yourself the time to see that you're wasting time?
Yeah, somebody said how to start over. Question mark.
How do you start over? The same way that when you go to flip a pancake and you may have messed it up, you pour a new one.
Wow.
You ran out of water, you grab another bottle. You just do it.
See, Aries, you weren't here earlier when we talked about how a lot of people don't like doing that. They like the familiarity because starting over means you have to really start over. Like you're building trust, comfortability, your vulnerabilities. I can understand it. A lot of people aren't patient. The majority of people aren't even patient, which is why people are not comfortable starting over.
Here's the thing: if you never start over, what are you learning?
I mean, that's fair.
How many times have you had to retake a test or reread a book to notice that you missed something? You play a game. If you're a gamer, how many times have you had to respawn in order to learn, okay, if I do this, it gets better. If I do this, it stays the same.
Don't talk Call of Duty to me, okay? Listen.
I mean, I'm just saying we could go ahead and hit that multiplayer.
Oh my goodness. So we come to the point of the show where we do audio story prompt or audience story prompts, right? So we got 5 prompts for y'all. At the beginning of this segment, I gave you guys a couple of them to think about. This is an opportunity for you guys to tell us some stuff. You can pop up. I can have you pop up here. You can pop up on her end. I think we can bring up 2 people at a time, if I'm not mistaken. So if anybody wants to pop up, the first audience story prompt is, what's one thing you realized about yourself after a breakup that you didn't see during the relationship? So anybody can come up. Just let me know if you want to come up. We're gonna pop you up, and the floor is yours. All right. We want to hear what you guys have to say. What was one thing you realized about yourself after a breakup that you didn't see during the relationship? And don't be afraid. Come on up.
Y'all, come on. We want to hear from y'all too.
Facts. So go ahead and you can request up. Let me see how this works. Yeah, just let me know. Let me know who wants to come up. I would love to hear what somebody has to say.
I mean, because I could go on and on with this conversation because, hey, life.
Me, well, one thing I realized about myself after a breakup that I didn't see during a relationship is I didn't feel like I had a voice. I didn't feel like I had a voice. I feel like I was living a life for someone else instead of living it with them. So I felt like I gained my voice. I gained my identity back when it was all over. And it was like one of the best feelings ever. That's me. That's my feeling.
One thing I realized about myself after a breakup was anxious attachment style. I had to learn how to get out of that. Thinking that, oh, well, I'm a quick responder. They should be too. Or if they don't respond, what did I do? Did I do something wrong? Did I say something wrong? That anxious attachment can be the end of a relationship because it becomes too much.
So you're saying like when you text them and they don't respond promptly?
Yeah, that anxious attachment, always wanting a quick response, that popcorn response, or always wanting to know about where, when, why, how. Just being attached in an anxious style. Because that also stems from past traumas that were unhealed. But once you realize it and you work through it and you grow, you learn how to maneuver better. But oftentimes, anxious attachment style comes from not being seen or heard.
That's true. I mean, all right, so we don't have nobody come up for that one? All right. So let's see what we got. Have you ever gone back to an ex and immediately remember why you broke up? What happened? I turned my mic off on that one. Did you see me? I tapped it with my that's hilarious. Oh, once again, I've only spun the block once. Well, technically once. Well, it depends. It's all theoretical. I don't want to talk too much. But
no, it ain't all theoretical. Come
No, it's theoretical. Yeah, it's saying too much at this moment. But I'm gonna talk about the one time. The one time I did again. It was a person from when I was in school back in the day, and I knew the relationship wasn't shit. I mean, I knew it, but again, it was like you were comfortable with the person, had a lot of fun with the person. We went and did things, went to amusement parks and movies and skating, whatever we did as kids. It was a lot of fun, right? But it was everything that happened after. It was like when all the fun was over, it was like constant arguing. Like, well, what are you doing now? I'm going home. What do you mean? Oh, so what are you gonna do when you get home? Whatever I want. Go to sleep. Eat me some food. Like I'm at home. Like, don't you got a home? Like it. So yeah, she's very clingy, which is not a problem. But it was just like if I spent my whole day with you, at some point I don't know.
So would you say that you don't like somebody that's all about you that want to live in your skin?
No, absolutely not. I would not say that. I'm cool with somebody want to be in my skin. If you can put it on, let's go. Let's go. That's not what I'm saying. So here's the difference. If I don't see somebody all day because like I'm been working or I'm busy, and then when I come home and they're like all about me, there's nothing wrong with that at all. There's a difference because we're talking about when I was a kid to now that I'm a grown ass mature adult. So it's a little bit different. So now I look forward to spending time with my person. You know what I mean? So back then it was like I spent time with my person and then I also wanted my time to myself, which could be like going home, resting, you know what I'm saying? Or going home, play my game or something, right? Like I'm gonna spend all day with you. So it should be okay. Yeehaw. So it should be okay. Right? But now that I'm an adult, I look forward to that intimacy with my person. So that's not an issue for me.
Right.
You know what I mean? So um yeah. But again, I remembered what happened. Back then it was a little much. Now if I didn't see her all day and then it was like you want to know what I'm doing and be in my space, and that's different. But if I got up at 8, picked you up at 9, dropped you off at your house at 8:30 p.m., and we spent almost 12 hours together, oh my goodness. What was that? Appreciate that. I'm not even supposed to be paying attention. Um yeah, so it might be a little bit different. It might be a little bit different, right? For me. So, I don't know. But that was what it was back then,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, no, I mean, I definitely get it because when you're younger, things feel different. You respond differently, and especially for males versus females. As females, like I was that clingy girl, and it wasn't until maybe 2 years ago on a live, funny enough, my ex popped up and was like telling the story of what happened and when we broke up, and he was like, now I got a wife and she clingy, and I'm like, dang, I could have had that with her back when, but I was too immature to realize I care about you and I this and I that, and I'm like, hindsight is 2020. And a lot of people don't realize it until they're older, but that comes with the emotional maturity.
Gotcha. Yeah. That's crazy. That's wild.
So where are we? Audience story prompt. Let's see.
13.
What was the hardest? Huh?
13.
Yeah. What was the hardest part of your healing process after a breakup? Ooh. Can I turn my mic off? Because
Nah, you can't turn it off. All right, chat. These questions actually for y'all down in the chat. So if y'all have an answer, we want to pop y'all up so y'all can answer it. What was the hardest part of your healing process after a breakup? If anybody wants to chime in, feel free to let me know. I want to bring you up.
Yeah, absolutely.
All of our stuff. So I want to hear something about what you guys are dealing with, right? And what you've been through.
Let's hear from y'all. Come on, we know y'all got some stories. Y'all wouldn't be in here.
Oh,
if y'all
we got one. We got one. Do we got one? Or did they? What happened? Come on now. Oh, there we go. Yes. What's up, Aries?
Hey, how's it going?
Good. So, what was the hardest part of your healing process after a breakup?
I think the hardest part to deal with is watching them move on.
Okay.
Because I'm in love, heartbroken, and they moved on before me.
It was easier for them, right? So it's like easier for them to move on, and then you're still in that space where you're just like, not necessarily in denial, but you're still in that like, what?
Sick.
Right.
You can't eat, you can't sleep, you can't think, you can't function.
Mm-hmm.
But the hardest part is watching them.
That emotional connection is still there for you.
Like while you're trying to heal, that kind of keeps you in a standstill.
Mm-hmm.
And you got to figure it out from there.
We got another one down there. Safe space.
Drop me down.
I got you. Safe space.
Thanks for coming up, Aries.
Thank you. Yes, appreciate you for coming up. Safe space or Skittles or do too much. Any one of y'all been through these situations? What was the hardest part of you?
I know it's hard to come up and share that type of.
Yeah, I mean, that was real. What Aries said was real. A lot of people. Why is it so easy for men to move on faster than female? Is it just because y'all are more emotionally connected than men are?
I honestly don't think that men move on faster than women.
Okay, that's fair too.
I'll explain. Okay, during a relationship, a woman will mentally check out and still physically be there, but a man will still be there until he's gone. So once he's gone, it takes that processing of, okay, I'm out of this. Let me do these things to occupy my mind, because men move logically, women move emotionally. So while we checked out from you, most times some women will move on while still physically being there.
1000% agree. I'm living proof of that. 1000% agree.
But does that hold true? Does that hold true for women as well?
That's what I was talking about. Women do. Women.
I was wondering if the vice versa.
We'll still be here.
Yeah, I'm wondering if the vice versa is the same.
So for most men, what I found, what I've witnessed, and what I've heard from conversations with men, they'll stay until they can't stay anymore, until the hurt's worse than anything.
Right.
And then once they're gone, they're gone.
Right.
It's no coming back. It's no spinning the block. It's no, hey, how you doing? Maybe we can rekindle. No, they're completely gone.
Right.
Whereas most women, we checked out mentally in that relationship in the beginning. We'd have moved on. We'd have got up under another body or whatever. And then
I got up under another body.
Day, we passed each other in the coffee shop, and now you trying to rekindle.
I just want to know if you drinking a frappuccino. I mean, come on.
Nah, I want to know if you drinking this frappuccino. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's really what women be thinking. I'm not even trying to make it about that, but that's really what women will be thinking.
Got me coughing over here. Yeah.
Don't be coughing. I'm sorry.
All right. So.
But in all honesty, how many times have you run into an ex and you got on this one cologne and it ain't even popping like that? It's just, you just spritz something on real quick because you came from the gym, and they like, oh, you smelling extra good today, knowing that they done smelled this before, and like, oh, it's all right, but that one, the other one smelled better.
I'm going to say 0 times. I ain't never ran into an ex on purpose.
No, I'm not saying on purpose.
No, I'm just not even on accident. Like, I will never accidentally run into an ex. I purposely don't do anything that allows me to run into an ex on purpose, right? So I've never had that experience. I'm not like that dude on those Facebook videos where he's like in the Walmart wearing the cologne and the girl's like, you smell good. No, none of that. No.
Well, that's a good thing.
No, it's a great thing. I'm not, no. Yeah. And even if you know what? I have run into an ex. Now that I think about it, at the grocery store. And I kept moving.
You said, and I kept moving.
I did.
You in the produce, I'm going to go over here to
I kept it moving. I mean, like, he saw me, and then I saw the register, and then I saw the door. Yeah, no, we're not doing that. Because you know what they do. Like, they're in this space where they want to sit there and have this conversation with you. I'm not doing that.
Conversation. Oh, how's your mom? I said hi. I missed her.
I'm like, she gone.
She still make that same pie, like.
Not anymore.
Boy, bye. Why are you here?
Not anymore.
realize that you the accident that happened on accident?
Oh my goodness. Yo.
Like, right. He said, oops, wrong aisle. But seriously, like, I'm just being honest, speaking from a woman's perspective. And when I tell you, I have had some associates that are females that I'm just like, you're the scum underneath the scum on my shoe because you're that trifling. Like, this is the mentality that some women have, that I'll check out while I'm in a relationship with you. I'm going to stay for the benefits until I get myself together. I'm going to build my own little lifeboat while you sitting here suffering because I'm emotionally detached. I'm going to go over here with James, and then when that don't work out because we done broke up, I went my way, you went your way, I'm gonna come and try to sabotage what you have now built with somebody else. That is what a lot of women or try, at least.
Yeah. Somebody said in mine, so is it okay to be friends with an ex? My answer to that is always going to be emphatically no. Now, there are plenty of women that feel like it's okay for them to be friends with their ex because they're in this place where they're like, I'm not going to ever spend a block with that person. But I feel like it's different for women. I feel like women could be friends with an ex, but if a man is friends with his ex, that's not looked at the same by a woman.
Like, I don't think that women or men can be friends with an ex because, let's be honest, that whole argument of can men and women be platonic friends, not heterosexually, you cannot.
Right. Well, I mean, if you had
been there before,
if you had
like,
any type of relation with them people, no, I'm gonna say no.
Like, that's just like a lot of people. Okay, a lot of women. I'll go as far as to say women, and I've even seen this happen on those shows. Was that Pop the Balloon? How old is the baby? The baby's 6 months. Oh, you still hitting your baby mom, or you still going back to your baby daddy because they more easily open to going back to something that was familiar.
Okay, so not to add that, what if a child's involved? See, I think it's different scenarios because somebody said in here, I'm still friends with my ex. He's my daughter's father, and we still get along great. I have zero interest. I think there's a difference. That's a different situation in my mindset because you don't have no choice but to be cordial with that person.
I could be cordial and be your friend.
Well, that's true. That's true. Right.
No, I'm not going up to Starbucks with you. No, I don't want to have lunch. What time are you picking up this child, and what time am I to be at the drop-off or meet-up spot to get my child? Because at this point, our relationship didn't work, but we have to have some type of communication regarding our child. That's it. That's all.
Okay. So another question.
Very clear. There's a difference between being friends and co-parenting.
Right. All right. Here's my next one. What helped you finally let go of someone you loved? This should be a quick one. What helped you let go of someone you loved? And Mona, I'll remember that question at the end.
Disrespect.
Wait, that's what helped you finally let go of someone you loved?
Disrespect, yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, just getting.
Oh my God, we agreed on 2 things tonight. Yeah.
I don't know. That feels weird.
Very weird. I said the same thing. Disrespect. 100%.
Something going on in the universe.
I don't know. It was just Friday the 13th, so whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay, last one. Do you believe some people come back into our lives for a second chance or just for a final lesson? Ooh. Do you believe some people come back into our lives for a second chance or just for a final lesson?
That final lesson of, let me see if I really still got it with this person. Do I still have them wrapped around my pinky finger, or do I still have that type of access? They not trying to have no second chance. They just trying to see how much access they got and how vulnerable you are to being to their will.
You're kind of flirting into the manipulation portion of it.
I mean, because that's what it is.
So nobody thinks it was for a second chance?
No.
That's crazy. Because like I said, I guess it depends on the circumstance, right? Depending on the circumstance of it all, it can be a second chance.
Well, Ms. Dimple said it could be the final lesson for a second chance.
Wow.
Tying the 2 together.
Wow. The final lesson of a second chance. Second chance's final lesson. That's crazy. That's crazy. Okay, so The last question I'm gonna put in the box here from the box. It says, so when an ex becomes an ex, does the family become an ex? There's so many people. There's so many people that are still like in good standing with the family after they've been with that family's, like their family members, family. Well, whatever.
I was only around y'all because I was with y'all son or y'all nephew or no, thank you. Goodbye.
Yeah, but what if you have an amazing bond with them? Like, say if it's not with, so say that you were with the guy, and they have like their sister. Now their sister is nothing like guy, right? But you built a bond with the sister, and then it didn't work out with you and the brother. So
at the end of the day, that's still his sister. That's still his blood. He's going to, or she's going to cover for him and take up for him. Look, I have an older.
But what if she doesn't?
That's still your brother. I'm done with him. I'm done with y'all.
But so you're gonna throw out a friendship that you built with this woman who doesn't, let's say that she doesn't stick up for her brother at all, like his choices are his choices, not hers. You're gonna break up that bond with that person who might stick by you through all that BS just because they're related?
Why am I staying friends or even keeping any type of communication with someone who I don't even have, like, my kid's father? I don't talk to them people.
Yeah, but you don't. But did you have like a bond with somebody specifically in that family that you just threw it? You just threw it out. You threw it out with the trash.
When he and I were done, me and them were done. That's your family, not mine.
For me, it depends. It will depend on the. It really does. It has to depend on the dynamic for me. I'm not gonna close the door on being friends with somebody's relative that I used to talk to, but I'm not gonna. It would depend. It would depend. It depends on. It depends on how that family was to me, and it depends on how that person is to me. Like, it is what it is.
I will go as far as challenging this way. Okay, you built a bond with that person, but you and the girl is y'all done. Y'all could put. Are you really keeping that bond in hopes of just securing a bond that you could have with that person outside of the relationship you had with a family member? Or is it because in the back of your mind you hoping or maybe thinking, maybe if I stay in communication with them, I keep up with what my ex doing and possibly maneuver my way back in?
No.
Like, some people actually have that mentality.
I mean,
because if we're letting go and we're actually saying, I'm done with this relationship and all that came with it, then you're done with that family too.
So what if you don't want anything to do with that person that you're with? Like I said, you don't want anything to do with that person that you were with, but then their person's family member, y'all just close. You're really good friends. You're not looking to spend a block with that person. Huh?
Still having something to do with that person that you were with. That's their family member. That's an extension of them.
Yeah, I mean, maybe, because you never know. Like I said, it's depending on the circumstances. It depends on the person. It depends on the circumstances, and it depends on the bond and the friendship. Like, that's literally what it would be. If it's not strong enough for me to be like, okay, we're gonna be friends, then I probably wouldn't talk to them. But if it's something that I built a bond with them over the years, and let's say they have my back throughout all the times I was with their family member, and they don't want to deal with their family member like that, then maybe it's something to salvage. You don't know, but it's not. You can't just. I don't know. It depends, because I'm like I said, I'm not gonna be if I built a bond with the person, but I'm not around them to spend a block with their family member like later down the road, then what's the problem? You know what I'm saying? So like, we're still friends, but I don't care about your family member. It depends on the situation. Now, do I personally deal with anybody like that now? No, I don't. But I can see where that can be a possibility. So
I just feel like it can create a problem. It doesn't mean that you're not emotionally mature or that you haven't grown emotionally or anything like that. It's just, I see it as their family member is an extension of them. If I'm not holding on to anything or any parts of them, that means I have to let go of what I thought, because let's be honest, most times the family is only nice to you because you're dating somebody from their family.
But what if you're not dating somebody from their family and they're still nice to you? You're no longer dating somebody from their family and they're still nice to you.
They could possibly want something. They saw something. Like, I've seen so many different facets of it that I just look at it like this. There's some people that will say, well, I saw you doing this and this for my cousin. Let's say it's a female cousin. They may have been close with you, and now they trying to get even closer and in the sheets.
Interesting. That's an interesting perspective.
And see, Miss Dimple said, I'm not close to my ex-in-laws, even though they had my back for 23 years. Why are we holding? That's like keeping garbage because it didn't stink. Okay, they weren't crummy people, but what do I need to bag lady? Erykah Badu said it the best. Like, why are you keeping these people from your past? Learn to let go. Let it go, like Elsa. Let it go.
All right. But yeah, I think we wrapped it. I think
it's a wrap.
So I think that's a wrap on an episode of The Healthy Debate with Rock and Lady J.
We said what we said. We challenged some perspectives and maybe even shook the table a little.
But that's what Healthy Debate is all about. Growth, reflection, and real conversation.
Remember, sometimes in life, you may need to tap out, step back, breathe, and reset.
But don't forget to tap back in, because your voice, your growth, and your journey matter.
If we said something today that made you think,
laugh,
or even disagree,
then we did our job, right? So make sure you like, subscribe, and share the conversation with someone who isn't afraid of a little healthy debate.
Until next time, stay open-minded, stay motivated, and stay showing up for yourself.
This is The Healthy Debate with Rock and Lady J. Until the next episode, y'all. Peace out.
Yo.
It's time.
It's time.
It's time.
It's time.
It's time to tap in. Tap in. To tap in.
To tap in.
To tap in.
Tap in. Tap in.
To the healthy debate.